What's up everybody, my name's Annie and welcome back to Kit Guru. So today we're looking at something a little bit different. You've just built your brand new system, or maybe you've bought a shiny new pre-built. You've got yourself a monitor, keyboard, mouse, headset, everything you need, but you can't just set it up and game on the floor, can you? You'll be needing a quality desk, and preferably one with gaming in the title, right? That's where Genesis step in with their Home 320 RGB white gaming desk, coming in at €239.99, which puts it approximately around £210. So is it worth it? Let's find out. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video to support us for free. Okay, you're thinking, how can the word gaming be used in the title of a desk? And honestly, I thought the same thing too, but there's some creature comforts here that are definitely aimed at gamers. Little extras that will make your endless hours of gaming on a weekend just that little bit more enjoyable. Oh, and it has RGB, so that could be it as well. Before we dive into these extras, let's get straight to it with my building experience. Of course, as you would expect, it comes flat packed. The box is fairly heavy, but more so awkward to maneuver due to its length, so I'd advise you to get someone to help you, unlike myself that had to carry it up 4 flights of winding staircases single-handedly. The same goes for building the desk. It's advised by Genesis that 2 people put this together, but of course I did it alone. It is possible. Opening the box and getting the contents out was a little bit difficult here by myself. Our ceiling isn't high enough for me to upend the box, so I had to shimmy it out a little bit. If you had someone to help, they could have pulled the contents out. What you get inside is the main tabletop piece, 2 welded K-shaped support legs, front bar and back bar with RGB LED strip pre-installed, a bunch of painted wire accessories, the optional monitor stand with metal mounts, a USB hub, wireless charger, a strip of multiple different screws, an Allen key, a tiny instruction booklet, and an RGB LED remote. The first thing I noticed though filled me with dread. I noticed 4 plastic pieces come out of the box that were completely destroyed, with parts snapped off all over the place. I was really sad about this, as the box was in great condition until I noticed that there were actually corner protectors for the tabletop itself. These protectors were destroyed, but the desk was absolutely fine, so they did their job well. Without these, there may have been damage to the desk, but they did their job, so well done Genesis for thinking of that extra protection during transit. This made me then check everything for damage or just general build quality issues. Everything was absolutely fine, no marks or damage anywhere, but the only thing I did notice was on the K-shaped leg supports where each part joins. It could have been painted better, there were slight gaps here and there, but honestly, once built, are you really going to notice this? Probably not. First off, the manual is pretty small and constantly wants to close shut. I'd have liked a larger, maybe A4 or even an A3 big sheet style manual for assembly, so you can just have it to your side and glance at it now and again. It's not rocket science, but seeing the labelled screws and which places to put them did help. Putting the desk together was okay. Of course, doing this solo was a little bit troublesome, but first I built the frame. Both K-shaped legs, the front bar and back RGB LED bar. These screwed into place with the included Allen key, but I will say sometimes that Allen key shape didn't help, as it constantly got in the way and I had to try and hold pieces together whilst readjusting the position of the key. If the key itself was longer with maybe a hand grip on the end, I think this would have been easier. If you have a good set of Allen keys at home, probably use those instead. Once the frame was up, you need to turn the tabletop upside down to reveal loads of different screw holes. This again is pretty obvious where they go. I was surprised to see no washers included at all though, you just screw the screws right in. All the threads throughout the build were fine. I had no problems with odd angles of the screw fixtures themselves. Everything was placed where it should have been, other than the cable management tray. The manual said to install this first, once the frame is screwed in. Unfortunately, the holes didn't line up and instead you have to angle the tray outward to install it. This was a little annoying as the metal was at an angle, making it difficult to screw in. This was the only issue really though. Next up was to screw in the cup holder and headphone hook accessories. These went in fine. After that, I attached the supports to the monitor stand, and again, this went smoothly. Then I installed the wireless charger. It would have been easier to install this when the table was upright, but I put them in this way anyway, as there was a metal plate and bolt to screw the wireless charging pad to the table, and I thought it would just be easier this way. I then flipped the table and installed the USB hub that doesn't screw down. It just slots in and can be span around. I'd have preferred this to be screwed in, but I guess having it movable might help with cable management later down the line. Next up was to install the gamepad holder. This can be installed on either the left or right side and attached easily with 2 screws. Lastly, the monitor stand. This was difficult to install by yourself as you had to hold it up and screw it in. Not only that, but it was very difficult to install with the metal cable tray in the way. Personally, I would have installed the cable tray last, but I followed the manual and that's the way it said to do it. Overall, the build took around 30 minutes, but I wasn't rushing and was following the manual step by step to make sure it made sense. As I said, I'd have put the cable tray on last, but that's just to make installing that monitor stand easier, as I had to jam my hand through the tray to screw the monitor stand in with the tiny Allen key they provided. All in all, the build was easy enough. Other than the misaligned cable tray holes, everything went pretty smoothly. Next, my concern was stability. Ever sat on a metal set framed chair and had that dreaded annoying rocking? Well, I was really hoping this wouldn't be the case here, and luckily it was completely stable. No wobble at all. On the bottom of each foot, there are small rubber stoppers to stop scratching on laminate flooring too. Nice little touch there. Let's go over some specs of the table, shall we? And then I'll set the table up properly and do some gaming on it later on. So the dimensions are 120 by 60 by 67 centimeters. The frame is metal and the tabletop is MDF, but this is covered in a white carbon fiber looking finish. The finish feels thick and durable. It gives the table a nice texture, and if you accidentally spill something on it, it won't soak in. Instead, it will be very easy to wipe away. The table's top itself has nice rounded edges too, but there's also a couple of cutouts. On the front, there is a slight curve inward to let you sit in further to the desk more comfortably, rather than having a straight edge, and on the back of the desk there's a smaller cutout for cable management. Directly under this cable routing cutout we have our metal cable tray too, which is a nice touch. Of course, we have the monitor stand, but if you really wanted to, you could remove this, but personally I like the extra height and desk space it gave you. This monitor stand is the same MDF and carbon fiber finish, just like the rest of the desk. The other accessories are great too. On the left side we have a large cup holder, but this isn't just for a can, this is big enough for a large mug. It has a cutout too for the handle, which I really liked. The holder really is large. I've stolen Christina's mug here to demonstrate how big this is. My only frustration here is the handle cutout sticks out to the left. Personally, I prefer the handle to point out facing the same direction as the front of the desk, as it would be easier to reach that way. Only a small negative here though, and it's nice that they gave you a slot for the handle at all, to be honest. On the right side we have our headphone holder. This is really large and will definitely accommodate the largest of headsets, even something like the Asus ROG Theta, which is monstrously big. On the back we have the gamepad holder, and this will fit 2 controllers on, but I just wish they put a foam layer over the metal here. I'm really particular about keeping my things in immaculate condition, and I can imagine the metal pointing up, scratching or scuffing the backs of my controllers when put in the holder, at least on the bottom. Again, a small gripe, but something to think about nonetheless. Controllers sit on here well and look pretty cool too, I might add. I really like these external accessories as it really helps to minimize the clutter on the desk itself and also gives you more room to play with in general. If you're super limited for desk space like we are and the desk wouldn't fit where you want it to, you could just remove the cup holder and the headset holder to gain some more room back. Let's not forget about the 2 accessories inserted into the table, the USB hub and wireless charger. These have both USB-A connections underneath. The USB hub has 3 USB 3.0 ports with a max transfer rate of 5 GB per second. The wireless charger has a max output of 10 watts and a max input to power it of 5 volts 2 amps. Personally, I like the addition of these. It's great to have those 3 USB ports easily accessible, and the wireless charger is just a bonus too. Last but not least, we have the RGB LED strip along the back edge of the table. This is USB powered and you get a remote to control it too. You can cycle through multiple different effects, change the speed of the effects, select static colors, change the brightness, turn it on and off, or select demo mode, which for me was more like epilepsy mode as it just flashes as many colors as fast as possible. The options are great really, and the remote is a handy touch. I was expecting it to be just color cycle, but there's lots of options here. It goes quite dim if you want it subtle, or it goes quite bright as well if you want to make a statement. I'll stop here for a second to show you the options the remote gives you. Okay, now I've set the desk up with a monitor, keyboard, mouse, everything really. The only thing there isn't space for is a PC itself. Genesis haven't designed this desk with putting a system on it. Instead, they want you to place the system underneath the desk to minimize clutter and give you as much room as possible. This isn't an issue for me, but I'd always recommend lifting your PC off of the floor and onto a stand of some kind to minimize dust issues. The large oversized Corsair mouse mat fit perfectly, just sitting below that USB and wireless charger, luckily. I think the desk really looks great with it set up properly, and you can really see just how much room you have here. Far more room than I have, but I built our desk from scratch to save as much room as possible as our living area is tiny. As I mentioned earlier, I love the accessory holders, the raised monitor stand, cup holder, etc. Very nice additions that will definitely make your gaming time that much nicer, without having to worry about knocking your coffee over or where to place your headphones and controllers. After setting up, I played some Doom Eternal to really test this desk out, and it was great. The curved front edge of the desk was nice, the room it gave you for gaming was great, especially as I had a TKL keyboard here, but even with a full-size one, there's plenty of room to be had. The desk was stable too, monitor stand at the perfect height, everything just worked as intended, and really, there's not much bad to say about it. So in conclusion, I really like the Genesis Home 320 RGB gaming desk. It's fairly expensive at around £210, especially when you go on Amazon and see desks between 50 to 150, but none of those really offer these extra features, mainly the USB hub and wireless charging pad, and without testing them either, I can't really vouch for the quality of them. If you're really strapped for the cash, then maybe trying one of these is a better option, but if you have a budget that allows for this one, then I can say I am impressed with the overall build quality. The carbon fiber finished tabletop is great quality, and overall stability is great too. My only grumbles are the handle opening on the cup holder isn't right, for me at least. The cable management tray installation holes weren't aligned properly, and the K-shaped legs could have been painted or even welded a little bit better, as they're just tack welded on each end rather than along the entire join. But anyway, what do you guys think of the Genesis Home 320 RGB gaming desk? Let us know down in the comments. Will you be buying one, or have you got something else? Let us know, we'd like to know. So anyway, check out our merchandise down below. Go to our website daily for tech news. I'm Andy, this is Kit Guru, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.